Here. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. March 3rd, 2023. There's a lot of basketball tonight. After just 4 games last night. Luka and Kyrie double stack was optimal, huh? Luka Doncic 69.5 fantasy points. He had 40 minutes played. Dropped 42 real points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, hit 7 threes. Kyrie 42 minutes played, 40 points for him. I mean, how often do 2 teammates score 40 plus real points? Dallas, the 2-man show. Jakob Poeltl, 3rd on the slate in raw fantasy points, 56 fantasy points, 23, 13, and 4. James Harden, 52.5 fantasy points. Joel Embiid, 49 fantasy points. So, 2 of the slowest paced teams on the slate get together and produce 4 of the top 5 fantasy scores on the slate. Jordan Poole, 48.5 fantasy points, 34 real points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Am I done? Am I just done with that? Maybe. Jeremy Sohan, 47 fantasy points. Klay Thompson, 47 fantasy points. And then after that, I guess Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, 2 mid-tier guys that you wanted to get to. DeAnthony Melton was a great value on DraftKings. Just a lot of run-of-the-mill scores. Clippers getting smacked up by the Golden State Warriors. Really made most of that team without use for DFS. The guy that did play a usable role in the absence of Ivica Zubac and Marcus Morris was Mason Plumlee. He logged 29 minutes, 20 rebounds, 12 points to boot. Just an incredible night for him in limited minutes for fantasy. So that was last night. Tonight's a much larger slate, and hopefully we can come up with a pretty sharp player pool of DFS picks, and then also hopefully some good prop leans as well. I think I was only on 2 things last night for props, and neither one of them hit. It was Jordan Poole assists and Miles Turner points. No, wasn't good for either one of them, especially the Poole. Poole just decided to be the scorer, and then the game was super lopsided. Trying to get the Roto-World depth chart to load, and it's not loading for me. What's up, chat? How we doing? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Joe? Squeak Diesel, Black Main. Can I say that? Did I just get canceled? What up, Dang Lazy Mofo? Steve, here. What's up, Josh? Best no BS breakdown on DFS. I appreciate that. I was going to do a bit where I plug something, but I didn't have a plug ready. What's up, Beast Bets? Jordan Poole back on PrizePicks. No. I can't do it. I can't do it. I need to wake up. Get some caffeine ordered. Turner's the first center since December, and I have a good game against the Spurs. It was rough. What's up, Cam? 100% Melton, DeLon Wright. Over 100% Paul Oof. I'm good. All right, cool. What up, EB here? I hope you guys are doing all right. Right, too. I haven't had my daily fork knife. Man, I think I'm having too much fork knife. New season, March 8th. Gotta reset. Gotta reset. Let me charge my phone while we're jibber jawing. How'd you guys do last night? Actually, I just got tagged in a tweet a minute ago. So let's show our boy some love. He's not here yet, but when he gets here, Vic's been a baby to the DFS streets this year, so I'm happy to see him have a little bit of success. So Vic, if you're out there, if you're not out there, I know he'll be here before the stream ends. Just tagged me in a tweet an hour ago. So thanks for all the hard work you put into the. It ain't me, it's you. You made that. $1,500 first place. There he is. He's in chat. First place in the high five is at the $5 single entry. So it's always a little bit more impressive when it's a single entry. You know what I mean? Or if it's like a single bullet in a mass entry. So good job, Vic. It's about time you got one, man. I'm happy for you. That's really, really good. Don't blow it all in one tournament. All right, let's go do some research. Let me help up, make sure I got all my tabs ready. Have the list ready. The stream's brought to you by RunDFS.com and the MLB coupon code promotion. There's only a couple of those uses left, so if you guys want to get on that, go to VIP memberships. Click the year pass. Man, why is everything loading so slow for me today? Hello. Click the year pass, and then have a coupon, and the coupon's MLB. And it goes to $3.99 for the year pass. So there's only a couple of those left, which means if you wait too long, you won't be able to use it, and the $3.99 for the entire year thing won't be there. So don't wait. Single entry wins are the bees. Yeah, man, they're really good. Charging my phone. Let's go. All right, Vic, I appreciate you being here. All right, let's jump into some of the action here. Game number 1, Orlando Magic at the Charlotte Hornets. Project starting 5 for the Magic. Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter up against Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre Jr., Gordon Hayward, JT Thor, and Mark Williams. Got a 224.5 total, 4-point spread in favor of the visiting Orlando Magic. Man. I gotta wake up, y'all. I should have made some coffee. How bad you gotta be for the for Orlando to be the road team and favorited, but the Hornets are going through it. LaMelo Ball out for the year, it looks like, and then PJ Washington's been down. Last game we saw Kelly Oubre start, which was not a shock. We knew it could happen, but we also saw Dennis Smith Jr. pick up immediately when LaMelo Ball went down. So I feel like that's still a range of outcomes here, but I guess since they went with that last game, we stick with that. They also, in that last game, were up against the Suns, and I think the Suns are going to be a tougher matchup day to day than the Orlando Magic. So maybe because of their lackluster performance, we can capitalize on elevated usage rates and roles against an inferior team like the Magic, and hope that they stay in it long enough, strong enough. But in that game, we saw Oubre play 38 minutes. We saw Terry Rozier play 38 minutes. So those are 2 minute counts that I wouldn't mind getting some exposure to against a lesser defense. So at the price points on DraftKings and FanDuel, at under 8K for Rozier, and 7K on FanDuel, but more alluring 6,600 on DraftKings. Those are some really fun price points to get behind. So I'm gonna be here. The only thing I don't like about this is that on a 10-game slate, this is the only game at 7. So I don't want to burn too much oil on these two. With late swap being so pertinent and so valuable on a big slate like this. But let me see. What are we thinking on ownership for Rozier and or Cole Anthony has a lot of ownership. That's interesting. Rozier's up there. So 1 in 5 lineups for Rozier. I think that's fair. Like, I think he's going to have he's in a great spot. But, yeah, it's a pace-up spot for the Magic. Seeing a little ownership on Cole Anthony, but I guess that's a $4,100 price point. That's a 2K discount to his FanDuel counterpart, so I understand it. But I tend to stay away from the volatile chalk on a bigger slate. And there's some volatility with as many guards that are in this rotation. Fultz, Harris, Anthony, Suggs. But he does make sense. So he'll be in the probably the risky value for me. Just hate that he has so much ownership attached to his name. Let's go run a query on the Hornets here. I want to see what kind of numbers we get from Rozier and Oubre without Melo, and I guess Washington. Not a ton of minutes here, but we'll see what we got. What's up, J. Cole? Jermaine Cole, Young Simba, Mr. Nice Watch. 30% usage rate for Rozier, 26% on Kelly Oubre. 30% assist rate. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. So we'll see what the boards are offering here. I don't think I'm gonna dabble with assists for the Hornets here, but I do think we're gonna get a ton of shot attempts from Rozier and Oubre, and half of the shot attempts from both of them are likely gonna be 3-point attempts, right? 10 threes, 9 threes for Terry Rozier. So I probably wouldn't want to put them on the same card, but I do think if we were to get a board that offered some threes for either one of them, I might be interested. Let's see. I don't think we have any 3-point props here, do we? Maybe we'd have to lean on fantasy. 23 real points for Oubre. What are we thinking on Rozier? 27? Do we even have? Oh, 23? 23. Both kind of low. I definitely wouldn't advise putting those two on the same card, but I could get behind either or. Like 38 minutes with that much shot volume. 5-hour energy. I need one. Wendell Carter last game versus Hornet, making some coffee. Yeah, I need some coffee for sure. Dude, my stuff is running slow. 23.5. Kind of coin flippy. Little steam on the under. Kelly Oubre 23.5. Kind of coin flippy. So no reason to be especially here for prop betting. If they were to drop like 3-pointer props, and then we could got them at 2.5, I would be more interested in those, because I do think 10 threes is not an outlandish range of outcomes for Rozier and Oubre. Fudge. I need take a second, make a cup. Nah. If I want 100K with the Run DFS logo, can I get a free year? Does that ever work? Like, it's fun to have the flags up there, but has anybody like saw a logo at the top and went and signed up for that site or immediately investigated? I don't know. You think it's Spectrum? Let me see. Test. Spectrum definitely is the bane of my existence. We'll run a speed test on the other. Oh, this is bad. So I'll tell you a funny story and what it might be related to. God dang, I'm only getting 300 down. I'm supposed to get 1,000. So maybe that's what it is. Yeah, that's terrible. It was funny yesterday. I don't know what it was. I got caught in a rabbit hole of like countries like China and North Korea making areas to store nukes and stuff, right? And I don't care. Like, it's whatever. I've been hearing it all my life. But I dozed off while I was seeing these videos and these little news things on Twitter, and I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up to blaring sirens, like emergency sirens. And for half a second, y'all know what my brain thought because of the last thing it was hearing about when I went to sleep. But it was just tornadoes. We had tornadoes yesterday, and I went back to sleep. But maybe that weather yesterday has something to do with poor performance on the internet today. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was it, man. I thought I was about to get nuked. I'm about due to win 100K. It's been almost 8 months. Man, if you win 100K, you don't need no help getting free year passes. It's not the download, it's the upload. Yeah, it's always the upload that's the problem. Well, for streaming, the download impacts my my page loading. Post top 104. Let's go, Jake. That's huge. Yo, so here's another question for you guys. How many of you guys are finding yourself doing like prop betting more than DFS? Because a couple weeks ago I had like a really good couple of days on prop betting, And I know the 100K to first, like you're really not getting that from prop betting, but in a way it's still kind of a parlay because you have to have X amount of picks, be borderline perfect. But like I was winning, 1 to 5K on a couple of slips. And it's just like, man, if you don't finish first place in some of these tournaments, this is more rewarding, and more realistic. And I've been seeing, numbers kind of dip, and I'm like, man, I think everyone's just going to prop bet and sports bet because DFS is so hard. And the same amount of work seems to be more fruitful on the prop betting street. So you guys are the real grinders to still be here in March, I guess. I want a free month of subscription. Let's go. Stop doing DFS end of last season. I still love DFS. I do. But like I understand why there's such a movement. Like I feel like I know we'll probably get to like 250 viewers here in like an hour or whatever. But I feel like I'd get the same or more if this was like straight up a prop show. But because I still play DFS and I love DFS, I am. But I'm just curious to see what you guys are thinking, because I'm seeing a lot of people that I used to run these DFS streets with are just straight up doing props and sports betting. It's like, man, is DFS about to die, Select the props only. See, Kev? I like both. I like both too. But I would say prop betting, when you do the work for prop betting, I guess for me the most convenient thing that I like the most is like once they're in, right? I don't have to sit here and sweat if Ivica Zubac is rolled out at 8, you know what I mean? Like in the middle of my night. So I don't know. Online poker to sports betting to DFS to props. Yeah, that was my story arc, Kev. I did poker for a little bit, and then Black Friday happened, and then I was floating for a little bit, and then eventually ended up doing DFS, and now I'm just kind of in limbo here, where I'm looking. I don't have sports betting in Texas, and I've strongly considered moving out of Texas to somewhere where I could, but I have so many ties and roots here that I just don't think I will. But I don't know. When I get to a gambling state, I'll just use the books. That's another thing. Like if tomorrow I woke up and sports betting was legal in Texas, it's like, man, do I just abandon DFS? Like it's getting close, Come do a PrizePicks drop collab, short, concise information. Maybe I have a PrizePicks, like I have affiliates with all of them. Like I'm in those streets too, but I don't know. What's up, Josue? How many rebounds should Paolo Banchero rack up against Charlotte? Look at this guy and his questions about basketball. Man. So Banchero, fudge, I clicked the wrong button. Just fantasy and DFS. Yeah, I was crushing on NHA a couple weeks ago. Banchero has a 10% rebound rate. So it looks like the rebounder here is Wendell Carter at 15% rebound rate. The front court's a little less congested than it used to be. Let's see. Let's put Banchero and Carter on the court together. Carter when I left Texas. Bro, were you in Texas when FanDuel was illegal for randomly no reason for like a couple years? And I was like only on DraftKings then. And I'm fine with DraftKings, but I made the most of my money on FanDuel. Because they used to not have multi-position eligibility, and it was a lot easier. Let's put Banchero and Carter on the court together. And then let's take off Bamba just to make sure. Baseball. Yeah, I love me some baseball. Baseball's a grind. Like, that's probably really frustrating for props. Although last year, I loved the home run triangles on PrizePicks. So, total rebound rate. Yeah, it looks like Wendell Carter's the rebound guy. 17% of the team's total rebound opportunities when he's on the court with Banchero. Now, Banchero's still at 12%. But if you were specifically looking for a rebounder from the Magic side, looks like Wendell Carter positions himself as the more interesting one. Let's go see what the market's thinking here. I don't bother with prop betting. I'm not interested in doubling my money. So it's not doubling. I mean, like, yeah, if you only do a 2-pick. But so, like, last week, what was it? I had a, what was it, $50 card, and I got back 1,000. Like, I'll 21x my money. You know what I mean? And you're not winning 100K on a 4 or 5 pick card, whatever. But first place is basically it. Once you get past first place, it gets to 1K real fast, right? So it's like a more realistic outcome, it feels like, to hit some of these 4 or 5 pick cards than essentially a 9-pick DFS card against 100K people, if that makes sense. All right, let's go look at Carter. Carter's at 10.5. A little steam on the under. I would never bet the under on rebounds against the Hornets. But if you're talking about like 1-to-1 prop betting, yeah, I get that too. Little steam on the over is 7.5. So like if you had that feeling in your bad knee about Banchero's getting some boards, looks like this 7.5 line could move to 8 soon if you're just looking for odds value. I don't think I'm gonna put it on the list just yet. I feel like we can be a little bit tighter and selective on a 10 gamer, but I don't mind it. Magic are just frustratingly deep for a bad team. Them, the Pistons, looking like the Spurs now. These are all teams that have guys that individually are priced where you can see some upside. But for for like prop betting, there's gonna be a lot of volatility. So I'll just attack what I think could happen in DFS and go from there. Mark Williams on the Hornets side, 6,300 on DraftKings, projecting well at 30 plus. So a lot of very clickable names here. Borderline stackable game. I don't know if I want 3v3s, but I could see 2 to 3 Hornets falling for me consistently, and maybe 1 to 2 Magic, and just kind of go from there. Greg Abbott, don't get me started. His last couple games with Charlotte. Who's that? Banchero. You gotta be careful with game log chasing Magic historically, because earlier in the first half of the season they were kind of rotating injuries. It's not the same, you know. Not interested in helping your money. No, I understand what he's saying, Carlos. I think we're misperceiving it, but like once you've hit 100x your money some nights, I get it. Doubling your money isn't as fun. So I get what he's saying, but I don't think he meant it as in he wouldn't take a profit. You know what I mean? Your boy Graham helped me win 400 last night. Let's go. I gotta edit the video to put his new team on it, but never done prop bets, DFS por vida. So I do think there's a natural transition from DFS to prop betting, just because you guys are so good already, or you've been trained well already to research what matters, points in the paint, stuff like that. And right now, a lot of the prop content is Jake, thank you so much for the sub. A lot of the prop content is very, I want to say this, I feel like the process behind prop research is so bad. And I peruse these streets looking for people to get behind. A lot of people are just like, this guy has hit this number in 8 of his last 10 games and done this against this team. Like, that's not research, man. That's just like results are not always predictive, right? And I get it. I understand that newer people to the space don't quite understand the process and the usage rates and stuff like that. But because of that, it's keeping lines like dumb. So I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but yeah, if we all had $10 for every game that Andre Iguodala was out, we'd be profitable. Sully West for props. Yeah. No, I think that's probably what he meant. All right, we gotta move on to the next game here. Blazers at the Hawks. Project starting five for the Blazers: Damian Lillard, Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, Drew Eubanks taking on Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, Gian Collins, Clint Capella. We've got a 241.5 total, 7.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Atlanta Hawks. Anthony Simons came back and then he's gone again. So we got Dame Dollar and Jeremy Grant, the two guys that we expect to maybe be the more talented scorers. By the way, I think we got a few, but we're at 84.40, so we'll keep that in mind. So can we get to like 84.50 plus subs today? Last stream we did almost 20 new subscribers, so we'll see if we get lucky here. I almost feel dumb doing this, but you know, a little bit of the process here. But Damian Lillard has just been a usage machine. But let's put him and Grant on the court together, and let's take off Simons and Nurkic. And I'm not gonna take off Josh Hart or nothing like that. Heard someone saying the Nets only allow X number of assists to forwards this season. I'm thinking Nets team is going to do it full. Yeah, and you know what else? Steve, you say that, and it's like that process is flimsy at best. The other day, somebody referenced the fact that some team is allowing a high percentage of free throws made, and I almost fell out my chair because they were serious. Like, their free throw defense is dog water, bro. People just shoot better against this team when they're at the free throw line. I'm just like, no, absolutely not. We're not doing this. So yeah, the waters out there for prop content are so oof. Lillard, 38.5% usage rate, 1.5 fantasy point per minute on DraftKings, 1.45 on FanDuel in that split, and gets a Hawks defense that is better than people think, right? 114.5 defensive rating. But I showed you guys that StatMuse tweet from before the All-Star break. This starting five had the best defensive rating when on the court together. So it's one of those like moments, but nonetheless the usage for Damian Lillard's through the roof, and he does have a real chance at being the highest scorer on the slate for fantasy points and for real points. Right now I got him up there with Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Domantas Sabonis. So all those other guys centers, if you want to build backwards and go with a guard heavy lineup, Dame Dollar's the guy to focus on. But we expect the Hawks, maybe DeJounte, DeAndre Hunter, those guys to focus on Lillard as well. But we've kind of seen time and time again, he's kind of matchup proof when he's pulling up from the logo and splashing, right? So Lillard stands out quite a bit here. Jeremy Grant at 7K, I need the 40 plus. Not sure I feel that warm and fuzzy on that. 4,300 on Cam Reddish I can get behind. Reddish was getting a little bit more play in the little burst without Anthony Simons. We saw 29, 31 minutes in those games. A wide range of outcomes, 38, 22, 13. Chad, it sounded like there was a fire truck in the parking lot. That was weird. That was weird. Hopefully everything's okay out there. I don't know. Did y'all hear that? That was weird. Even worse, that research the process are the people that blindly tail these picks. Yeah. And I feel bad. I liked Monkey Knife Fight for props. They're gone. Which one should I join? I think you should join all of them. Just to have options, because you're not gonna sites are gonna have different lines to bet on, so you want to bet on the best lines available. Me and Monkey Knife Fight, we had beef. I'm not happy that they're out of business, but we had beef, so I never played on there because of a very tacky tweet that they put out involving my Yankees a couple years back. So I never paid them no mind. You heard it? Yeah, that was weird. Last time Lillard played the Hawks, him and Dejan. Chat, I'll be right back. You mind? I just need peace of mind. Y'all hearing that, right? Yeah, I'll be right back. I don't know what's going on out there. That was weird. Nah, it wasn't. I don't know. I opened the door. There's nothing out there. But I've been hearing sirens for like a minute. Guys, I don't just walk around power bombing people. What if I was getting swatted? So you said last time, let's see. Dude, I opened the door and it was like dead out there. Like there's nothing going on. But I've been hearing these noises, bro. Maybe an ambulance just like pulled off as I opened the door or something. What's up, Amazement? Go ahead and getting swatted. That would be. So last time they got together, it was a shootout, but that was a game where Trae Young didn't play, and Aaron Holiday did. And Aaron Holiday was like $100 on Showdown, and still was not optimal. And I played that Showdown specifically to get access to that. It was not great. Bank robber getting chased. My apartment complex is kind of on the outskirts, so there's nothing around here but like a train and us. But sometimes stuff happens, you know. There's been shootings in my parking lot in the last year, so you never know. Like I would have minded my business, but I wanted some peace of mind. The only thing I wanted to know is that my place ain't on fire, because it sounded like a fire truck at first. But I opened the door, there ain't nothing going on out there. But y'all heard it too. Is it Trae questionable? Yeah, let's get to update on that. Got him listed as probable. Appreciate you, Kings. Right, grind soreness listed as probable Friday against the Blazers, so expecting him to play. All right, what do we want to do here? I definitely feel like there's some prop magic to be had here, but I ain't betting Damian Lillard 36 points, bro. I just can't. Or whatever. It is 36. All right, I just made that number up and it hit. So Trae Young assists is something I can get behind. It's at 10.5. You're kind of stepping up, you know, a little top shelf there, but makes sense. Did you guys have a particular prop? You mentioned Capella's minutes have been back on the sus train, and that's something we've seen with Capella throughout the years, is that he's such a bad free throw shooter that sometimes he'll lose minutes in the crunch if it looks like he might be at risk of getting hacked. Let's go Trae. So Looks like I bet MGM is minus 140 on this 10.5. DraftKings minus 135. Caesars minus 135. So there's room for 10.5 to turn into 11.5 too. So I guess odds value, there's merit into liking the over of 10.5 for Trae Young here. I don't know if I'm gonna put that on the list right away, but right now it checks a few boxes, you know. And then let's go look at the rotations for the Hawks lately. Yeah, what up, Chester? New coach got Capella playing 30. Let's see if it has anything with like the closing minutes. So Capella did close the last game. Wait, was that the last game, the 28th? It is. So he played 35 minutes. Ooh. The Nets game, he didn't play much. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. And like I said, we've seen that before, especially in closer games where you want to keep him away from the free throw line. And this one was a tighter game. Cavs game, 20 minutes, 5 fouls. So maybe we're overreacting a little bit. And against Portland, I don't know. I guess the what was a 6-7 point spread. I guess there could be a path to them wanting to hack Capella in the fourth, but I do think maybe we're overreacting a little bit. But at the same time, like I don't think 7,500 on FanDuel was a price I wanted to get to a bunch anyway. I don't mind the under 6K price point on DraftKings, getting around 30. That's probably it. Juice has been high on Trae assists all day, getting 4 bumps. Yeah, it's gonna move. The PrizePicks line will move up for sure. Coach win in Utah at home wouldn't run his starters a lot, even if it was a blowout. New coach, new game script, right gun. Yeah, but you still have to guess. Like, was it Snyder when I know we're still doing some guesswork here. Like, you don't want to rock the boat too much with a team that has chemistry. But I get what you're saying. There's reason to start being pessimistic. But I don't know that anything, like we're just guessing. Because Donovan Mitchell still played good minutes for Snyder. Royce O'Neal played big minutes. We'll see. We'll get some information. Think Mark Williams points is a smash? I'm with it. Drew Eubanks 4,600 on DraftKings, another clickable tag, but I'm pretty much leaning on Lillard, Reddish a little bit, Jeremy Grant a little bit, not a ton at that price point. And then you can get to some shares of Trae, DeJounte, and Capella on DK. Not really running to jam any one of these guys as like a tier 1. But a 240 total, like you gotta have something, a piece of this. So those are names that stick out the most for you from now. We'll see if anything else develops, but for now. What's up, Charles? A little late in the year, but trying to figure out this hoop stuff out. Can't wait for baseball. Baseball's so close. We got the World Baseball Classic next week. That's gonna be fun. Nets at the Celtics. Ew. Project starting 5 for the Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton, taking on Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford. The Time Lord, Robert Williams, 11-point spread on a 227.5 total. On a 10-game slate, this is one that maybe we can expedite the research a little bit. Just a bad matchup all the way through for the Nets, a slow-paced game overall. And then unlike some other teams where you could put like the Celtics against, I don't know, the Cavs, where it's 2 grindy defenses, slow paces, it's still 2 really good offenses. I don't know that the Nets offense, I guess we can look at this Nets offensive rating. Let's go last 5 games. It's his birthday, 110.4 in their last 5 games, which I guess that's maybe better than I thought it would be, but 110.4 on a full season would be bottom 6. I was thinking it'd be like 108, but yeah, that's not what you want. So I don't really think I'm getting to any nets here with any bit of confidence, and I probably don't click on anyone at all. The guy that I did lean on in the last outing was Mikal Bridges, over 20 points, and he got there by the hook against the Knicks, but yeah, they got smacked by the Knicks. So I'm probably out on the Nets all the way through, unless we're thinking unders. Let's see, what's Bridges? Bridges at 21.5 and a double-digit point spread. I might be interested in the under there. I mean, we're flirting with the edge of comfort, but it looks like Bridges is the obviously number one scorer there. So you put Marcus Smart on that, Brogdon, blah, blah, blah. What's the market? Here we go. I might be interested in the under there. Slate's so big, would you risk playing anyone at 7 o'clock? That's what I was saying about Rozier and Oubre and those guys in that game that look pretty solid. Like, it makes a lot of sense for them. But they are coming with a ton of ownership. So, you know, if you wanted to gain leverage at the risk of losing out on late news on a 10-game slate, it's going to be hard to do. So I would, because I do like some of those plays, but I get it. 21.5 looks like a lot of places is moving to 20. So if you kind of like that hunch of the under for Bridges, the under 21.5, that 21.5 number is probably going to be 20.5 within an hour or so, right? You would think. I don't know. Everywhere that's 21.5, there's minus 125 on the under, minus 125 on the under. So feels like the market majority is 20.5. So I think there's odds value on the under of 21.5 right now. So let's do that. Let's add it to the list. Maybe I should just have an odds value section here. But Mikal Bridges under 21.5 points. Hiccup. Smash Tatum boards and Cam points first half. You like Tatum rebounds that much here? I'm going to be honest. I'm probably personally, unless I'm getting unders here, I'm probably not going to get too attached to this game for overs. 9 rebounds with Williams. Is this one of those 4 of last 5 things, including the All-Star game? Philly is a closer game. Cleveland was a much closer game. That game like shot out. Pacers suck. I don't know, man. I think that this feels kind of trappy. Nets are going to be down in pace and big spread. So I don't know. I think I'm staying away from Celtics overs. And I don't have much for this game. Brown, Tatum, Smart. Like, if you wanted to get to tier 3 on Brown and Tatum, I probably wouldn't play them in the same lineup here and just kind of go from there. But I'm pretty light on that game. But I'll get some Bridges under 21.5 as long as it's still up. Let's get caught up. With some recency. Yeah, I mean, last couple games for Jason Tatum have been pretty favorable. If not matchup, then competitiveness of the game. What up, Crispy? I missed you. I miss you, sure. Miss all of you. Hope you're all doing great. I like that McCall under. Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing here. Where are we at? Almost 200 viewers. I told you, man, we get there. You guys want to help the journey to 100 thumbs up? That would be great. If you haven't hit that thumbs up already, do so. If you haven't hit that sub button yet, we are up 2 or 3 subs on this stream. So if you're lurking, you like the vibes, want to hang out, jump in chat, by the way, man. We don't bite. We're pretty welcoming. Suns at the Bulls. Project 75 for the Suns. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton up against Patrick Beverley, Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. 2-2-2 and another 1-2 is our total. 3.5 point spread for the visiting Phoenix Suns. So we got a little bit of intel when it came to Durant in that last game against the Hornets. Saw 27 minutes. It was still kind of a lopsided game, but I was one of those things where I couldn't really attach Durant's minutes restriction to a specific quote. It was more of a hunch. And it was a hard sell because we saw them allow Chris Paul come back from injury, play 38 minutes, but then they were slow grinding Devin Booker back into the mix. Well, KD looked like he was on a minute plan. He actually did close out as well. So I think less than 30 minutes is probably still the expectation. I put him at 30, just a pure ceiling here, but I think that's the most we would probably see here. So we saw Devin Booker play 33 minutes, which was a good sign for him because he has been slowly building back up. And on the other side of the All-Star break, we saw him break through. So for all intents and purposes, it feels like Devin Booker is completely off the chain. With that said, the Charlotte Hornets was an incredible matchup. Today at 9K and almost 10K on FanDuel, he's up against statistically the best defender in basketball. Did you guys see that? Alex Caruso. So maybe that hampers him just enough to where if he's sharing, high usage with guys like Durant, Ayton, and Chris Paul, that everyone's just like an okay play. And no one particularly gave me like a great projection that I had to get behind. I guess I'll continue to assume that one of the best facilitators of all time can still be a great click for props when it comes to assists, and that's Chris Paul. So anytime Chris Paul might come in at single digits, like 9.5, I'm in, and right now it's at 9.5 again. So let's see what the market's at. Went to the locker room. See, what up, Antoine? Hope you're doing all right. Yeah. Went with smart first half points. Real points. It's interesting. Let's see, Chris Paul. I gotta put Chris Paul, yeah. So there's steam on the under here. So it's one of those gut versus action is different here. So I guess if you do like the thought of Chris Paul assists over today, you might as well wait for a better number because it's probably coming. We're talking minus 140 on the under at 9.5 on BetMGM. 120 or better most of every other place, so it's probably a good spot for the expectation would be this 9.5 number goes down on PrizePicks soon. So if it does go to 8.5, I'm in. I don't know, man. I personally don't understand it, but I try not to think I'm long-term smarter than the books, right? But let's see. Let's go pull up Phoenix. There's really no sample size to speak of. Man, it's hard to not think that Chris Paul, with all of those weapons. I know Devin Booker did a lot of ball handling in the first quarter, but Paul still got there for me. Got Paul at 8.5. So it went up, and then it looks like it could be going back down now. Is that what we're dealing with? Let's put Paul and Durant on the court at the same time, just to kind of expedite the process. On 17 minutes, still had a 46% assist rate. So I don't get it. And then we know with Chris Paul on the court with Devin Booker, Booker will still lead the team in usage long term, but Paul still has a 40% or 36% assist rate. I guess Booker does do more ball handling, but 36% is still really good. So I would say if you're on the over, just wait for the line to go back down. And it looks like it might. But because the market disagrees with it, I'm not going to push it because I do think we'll get a more favorable line later. Maybe it's an arbitrage spot, but it's a little harder to get away with those on PrizePicks. Beverly versus Chris Paul narrative. There we go. FanDuel has Chris Paul at 9.5 plus 114. Yeah, so basically that means it's gonna probably be 9 or 8.5 soon. I would get Pat Bev over 3.5 rebounds over CP3 assist. I don't know what to do with the rotation here for the Chicago guards. They basically, we made this joke the other day. They have 4 or 3 of the same guy. Caruso, Beverly, Dosunmu. Caruso 20 minutes. Beverly 33 minutes. That's a good sign. Dosunmu 14 minutes. So maybe Beverly, I mean, they went out there and got him. Maybe Beverly's minutes is safer than I think, because we've been seeing starting point guards play 25 to 30 minutes all year, but 20, 29, and 33 minutes off the rip. And he is a guy that can stack peripherals, so maybe I'm lower on him than I should be. Maybe he's also a better DFS play at 3,700. So I wonder if I jazz up the minute projections, does that start looking better? So, and you saying you like his rebounds at 3.5? I don't even have rebounds offered, but okay. All right, yeah, okay. All right. 13.5 PRA. Where do we get? I'm only getting points right now. Are you guys just straight up from the sports book, huh? You want to play minutes? Yeah, it makes sense, Jay. Then maybe we're just, the market's not efficient when it comes to Beverly. Then maybe we take advantage of it now, where we can. A lot of narratives. White Gnosis Capella over 11 rebounds. I think with Capella we were flirting with minute expectation uncertainty. But he's a elite rebounder. What do I have Capella at in the projections? Control F. Capella. I have Capella at 11.5. So statistically I'm on the over. Nemhard owes his dinner, man. Vivid Picks Betcha. I've never heard of them. I'll have to check them out. It's 140. Yikes. I mean, if you think there's value in that, go for it. But if you're individually betting, Quinn gonna play him. Man, I've seen you guys bring up Quinn Snyder quite a bit, and like there's dueling perceptions of what they're gonna do. With me, the thing with Capella, and I think he does get played. But the thing with Capella is he could free throw shoot himself off the court because he's so bad at it. And then they go small. We thought Beverly's invisible chalk. Is Beverly, what kind of ownership are we looking at? Control F, Beverly. Yeah, he's got really low ownership. So maybe there's something to it. All right, we'll move on. Levine, DeRozan, Vucevic. I don't really have a strong lean between the three. They're all getting at lower prices, so amongst them, paying off their price point is easier to do. Usually I'll go one of three. Maybe at these prices, I'll just let the projections work because you can see coexisting scores of 40 plus hit a little bit more often. So I don't mind it today. And I'm really not enthralled with the Suns here on their price, especially on FanDuel. So we'll just leave it alone. Knicks at the Heat. Next game on the docket. Project 35 for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson taking on Gabe Vincent, Tyler Hero, Jimmy G, buckets, Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo, 215 total, 3-point spread in favor of the visiting New York Knicks. Clean sheet injury report for the Knicks. The Heat, never a clean sheet. Jovic, Lowry out. Jimmy on the injury report. Let's see what that's about. Maybe nothing, but maybe something. Questionable. Right knee soreness. Caleb Martin questionable with left ankle discomfort. Durant over on PRA. Man, it does feel like he's limited in minutes. So I really don't know what to. If you get that feeling in your bad knee, go for it. But I'm probably not going to run to anything over or under just because I don't know, right? Uncertainty. One, you're already dealing with, usage rates that can spike and fluctuate between Devin Booker, Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. And seems like we wouldn't expect him to play more than 30 minutes. But I don't know. I can't say that, Kevin, but LOL. So if Jimmy can't go, Tyler Hero picks up a ton of boost, I guess, ball handling here. And then Victor Oladipo probably also spikes a lot. And we've seen Depot be able to play minutes, and people kind of forget that. Let's see. We saw him play 33 minutes against New Orleans, 34, 36. So Depot could step up in a big way at a pretty reasonable price. And then Hero against the Knicks. So the Knicks are one of those funnel defenses, right? Do we want some action on Tyler Hero threes? Is he leading them in 3-point attempts? 8.2 per game. Max Strus is averaging 7.5 3-point attempts per game. Is that real? Bro, that's crazy. What? I didn't know he was chucking like that. Do we have anything on Hero as far as threes? 2.5 3-point made. So maybe we get behind that. I like that a little bit more if Jimmy's out, but Jimmy will pass it to his buddy quite a bit. So let's check the market before we do the big spiel. And then I guess if Jimmy were to be out, I guess there's a range of outcomes where Max Strus starts. So I don't know. Mitchell Robinson over 8.5 rebounds versus Adebayo. Say that like Adebayo's a punk, bro. Little coin flippy in spots. Some spots juice to the under. So here's what the research says. The research says that the Knicks allow the second fewest points in the paint, which funnels, and the same thing for the Heat here, which funnels offense to chuck threes. And I guess while the Knicks and the Heat only allow 35 3-point, not only, but see 35 3-point attempts per game, that's correlated with how slow of a pace they run, so less possessions. So if you look at opponent 3-point frequency, which percentage of shots taken against them, the Heat are second in seeing 3-point attempts in terms of shot volume, and the Knicks are fourth. So both teams tend to funnel opposing teams to shooting more threes. So that's a net positive for Tyler Hero, I guess technically for Max Strus. And then on the Knicks side, Randall could chuck threes maybe. Some caffeine, yo. And then Jalen Brunson's interesting as well. So getting a shot at Hero 2.5 threes is intriguing. Maybe we sit on the Jimmy news And then on the Knicks side, who's chucking threes for them? I feel like it's Randall, believe it or not. Yeah, it is Randall. 8.1 3-point attempts per game. He leads them in 3-pointers. So, can we get a Randall 3-point prop? No, we can't. All right. For DFS, Brunson, it's been my dude. 40+ fantasy points. I'm there on that. I don't typically pick on the Heat front court. But like we said, Randall can shoot three. So that's why I'd be really intrigued with getting a Randall 3-point prop. But they probably won't give it to us. Is it heavily juiced? Is that why they don't give it to us? Or is it just one of those? It's heavily juiced. Or no. Under 3.5 at -175. -180. Good Lord. Give us 2.5 though. See what the market does on that. Leonard out. Yeah, we knew that, right? Basically. Oh yeah, Underdog put out their tweet late, huh? It's usually at 3. Let's take a programming break and get caught up on the news. What's up, Humboldt? What's up, Mike? What up, Conscious? Isaac done for the season. Oof. Norman Powell rolled out. So Norman Powell, Marcus Morris out. Interesting. One thing about Norman Powell, last night a beat writer said he had his arm in a sling, and Norman Powell had the second shortest odds to win 6th Man of the Year. So if this is going to be significant timeout, I think the next guy was like Emmanuel Quickly at +1,000. It basically means Malcolm Brogdon is going to be the 6th Man of the Year. So if you guys had tickets on that, you win, basically. Jimmy Butler questionable, Fox questionable, Paul George expects to play, Trae Young probable, AD probable. Cool. You've been on the Randall threes? Yeah, man. Julius Curry. Where did I click? We also got Aaron Gordon probable, Michael Porter Jr. probable, J Val, everybody's a lot of probables and to be determined, but it looks like immediately following that, we got more news. So anything Paul George? So Paul George is probably straight up playing. Zubac questionable after Mason Plumlee started for him. Morris rolled out. So the Clippers stack is looking like it's going to be pretty trendy, right? All right. Underdog's the spot for the injury report. Yeah, definitely the best news compilation. They tweeted they're going to do WNBA. That's huge because WNBA was a rodeo for information. Like I saw screenshots of people literally DMing WNBA players and like, yo, you playing today? And some of them will reply. So having a news source to maybe make that grind a little bit easier might be better for the ecosystem of WNBA DFS as well. Jazz and the Thunder projects 35 for the Jazz. Taylor Horton Tucker, Akbaji, Larry Markkinen, Kelly Olynyk, Walker Kessler, Ranger taking on Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Jeremiah Robinson, Earl, Jalen Williams. 231.5 total, 1 point spread in favor of the home team, Oklahoma City Thunder. So Clarkson listed is out, Sexton out, SGA, Pokusevski both out, and we have another situation where two lackluster, borderline tanking teams, more so the Thunder, are going at it here. So a lot of guys look interesting at their individual price point with potential opportunity of responsibility increase here, but the minutes become pretty volatile. So on the Jazz side, so the situation with Akbaji, a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, they like Akbaji more than THT and blah, blah, blah. And then they pick up Chris Dunn. And then Chris Dunn looks like he's the guy that they want to give some run to. And then Akbaji starts. So Utah's been pretty frustrating. It's been a carousel, to say the least. So it would behoove us to be flexible on what to do with Utah players, because it seems like there could be some moving variables with the starting lineup, and it's namely the Akbaji, THT, Chris Dunn carousel. I think this is more than likely the lineup that they would go to, since Akbaji was somebody that we saw them lean on over THT earlier, but now that Clarkson's down, THT and Akbaji just coexist, so that's good. But if Chris Dunn does play per minute, he's been pretty efficient. He got pretty lucky. I don't say pretty lucky, but he benefited from an Akbaji injury last game, I think was what happened, and then he was able to close out the fourth quarter. So we'll see. It's a mess. It's a freaking mess. What stands out the most, though, past those guys, Horton Tucker at least is more efficiently priced to where he's not a must-click at 3K. Markkanen on FanDuel continues to be pretty interesting, but on DraftKings at 9,600, you're wanting that 50-plus fantasy point game. And then Walker Kessler, 8K on FanDuel versus 7K on DraftKings. Both prices are a little up there, so it doesn't feel like it's a necessity to get to any of these guys at an elevated rate, other than maybe Markkanen on FanDuel at 8,600. That's a price point I can get behind. And then on the Thunder side, life without SGA have been pretty volatile results-wise. You historically want to believe in Josh Giddey, but it hasn't quite been the model of consistency. And you look at his last 4 games, I mean, this is quite the experience. 19, 34, 24, 49. The Lakers being the softest of all of those matchups. And maybe I say that Sacramento is such a fast-paced team that you would expect better things from him there. But I guess at least he was over a fantasy point per minute in both of those games. So I guess Giddey's still a guy that we want to get to. It just feels like it's not a tier 1 level of confidence. And then JRE back in the fold. What does this mean to us? College WNBA Europe gets all the news. Dion Boykin. I have to check him out. I don't get to play college because of the NBA, but I see a lot of homies grinding college and being profitable. So last game we saw this projected starting lineup be the starting lineup, and that allowed Jalen Williams to stretch out more, right? Are we still seeing an increase in assists? 7, 8. So a little bit more facilitating for Jalen Williams in the last 2 games. And 20 plus points in 3 of the last 4. Jalen Williams, the guy? What's the fantasy prop on him? $32.5. What do I have him at? 38. I might be interested in the over on Jalen Williams. It's just I don't know. I feel like I've learned my lesson with Thunder overs for prop betting. Or for DFS, I don't know. Even then, DFS is priced at 7K, but there's 40 fantasy point potential here, so maybe. So I guess if we had to scatterbrain some tier 3s, it would be Giddey, Jalen Williams, Tucker, FanDuel, Larry Markkanen, and that's that, right? Nobody else is like warm and fuzzy. And then we'd be on our toes on maybe some Chris Dunn exposure, or maybe we like hedge. I don't know. Maybe we put Chris Dunn in a group and says he can't be in a lineup with THT and Akbaji, assuming that he would need 1 or 2 of those guys to not be on the court. I don't know. But 230 total seems attackable enough that I would want to get some exposure. What a weird I've been getting the weirdest alerts from Twitter. Won a lot of MLB before, but never in NBA. I don't know why it's so hard. NBA is a grind, man. Because you just have to grind for hours, stay on top of the news. It's not as fun. Baseball's harder. I guess, like I said, I told you, and Vic, hopefully you'll be around. Baseball is my passion. Baseball, when I first started, I thought baseball was the hardest. But without context, that statement's kind of unfair to baseball itself, because baseball is a sport where lineups come out so much earlier, and there's not a lot of moving pieces like NBA when it comes to news. Like NBA, we're doing all this research right now, but in an hour we could have 3 guys we're not even talking about be 50% owned. Baseball doesn't happen, right? Like, if that's a good example. If Nikola Vucevic got ruled out right now, Andre Drummond would be a must click, right? If Mike Trout got ruled out, you're not running to play the backup. It's just not the same. So you're pretty much static with the players that you expect to get exposure to, and then of course you start honoring stacks and stuff like that. But baseball's a lot simpler than I think the world thinks, or the DFS world thinks, because it's easier to put your lineups together. It's easier to crunch them out, and then it really just comes down to stacks and ownership. So I think if you stick around, I'll do a better job of explaining it when we get there. I don't want to lose too many of the NBA minds that don't want to hear about baseball, But yeah, I do think now, 5 years into it, I used to think basketball was the easiest. When I first started, baseball was the hardest. Now it's kind of the complete inverse. For me, baseball is the easiest because it's complicated, but once you get it, you get it. And then basketball is the hardest because you have to grind the news all night. And it's so time consuming. You think Jay Lynn is a good play? I don't know what to do with this front court. Saric, Jalen, JRE. It's rough. High price pitchers usually screws me. Yeah. Oh man, y'all are getting me excited, bro. Give me some baseball. 54 likes. Come on, let's get the grind to 100. Yeah, if Trout's out, the pitcher looks better. Yeah. And then you're not really worried about blowouts and stuff like that. I think Florial gets a crack this year. I mean, last couple seasons he's had call-ups, so I think he could. I think he's probably better than Aaron Hicks, but they want to use Oswaldo Peraza in the outfield too, so we'll see. There's a logjam there, but I like him. When him and Volpe get there, oh man. And then we got Jason Dominguez in the pipeline. Future's bright. Hit the like a week ago. About a week ago. All right, Denver Nuggets hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Project starting 5 for the Grizzlies: Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Xavier Tillman, maybe, up against Jamal Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. So a couple of questionables on the Denver side that we need to address. Aaron Gordon certainly missed some time. He's probable. Michael Porter Jr. is probable. So it looks like full strength Nuggets here, and full strength Nuggets at home. One of the toughest teams in basketball to beat. And Grizzlies still without Steven Adams, still pretty tough team themselves. So if we can put the Grizzlies in a competitive game, Ja Morant is an intriguing click. And one thing about this matchup is the Nuggets do allow a decent amount of points in the paint, and that bodes well for Ja Morant. The Nuggets allow maybe top 7 amount of points in the paint per game. So Ja Morant gets like half of his points in the paint driving to the rack. So it could be a good spot for him to cash in on some success. I got him for about 50 fantasy points on both sides, so I can get behind that. The 8K price for Desmond Bane is hard to like with any conviction. The same with Jaren Jackson Jr., although we do get the goalie versus shot on goal thought process here. MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Jokic. Why did I type Jovic? Jesus. All those guys gonna have decent shot volume. Jaren Jackson is a guy that's gonna go for a ton of blocks, right? So could be a high block game if he avoids fouls, but it is a road game for him. No home scoring. comes with a lot of risk. But we saw this with, I think, Joel Embiid the other day, where if he can stay out of foul trouble, going against a high volume of front court, 33 minutes against the Sixers, 4 blocks in that game. So it's not unlike him to have 4 or 5 blocks, and it's one of those high risk, high rewards situations. Maybe not high rewards because 40 fantasy points is what you need here, but something to think about. And then Jokic having his team together here against a pretty good Grizzlies team, putting him more competitive basketball, makes him more likely to be one of the top scorers on the slate. Like I said, he's right up there with AD and Damian Lillard for me. So, yeah. Let's get caught up on chat. Cash the game with Luka and Kyrie stack. That's a heck of a stack. Yesterday, I mean, to have 2 teammates score 40 plus real points is wild. Aaron Gordon is a must play at his tag. I feel like he gets his minutes back tonight. A must play at 6,700? Man, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to push back on him like that, but Aaron Gordon certainly has a range of outcomes of 25. So when they're fully healthy, I don't know. I do think they come with a little more volatility, but 6,700 on a 10 gamer, like, to be truly optimal, he probably has to have close to 40 fantasy points. So, man, but if you got that feeling you're bad knee, do it. Don't let me be the one that gets you off it, especially a guy that's going against the defensive player of the year a lot, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Ugh. Do you project team total, projected fantasy points in your spreadsheet? Team total, you mean like accumulation of everyone on the team fantasy points? So, like, I guess it's not listed, but everyone has a fantasy score. So, no, I don't have a team total though. Isn't Dominguez like 5'10"? Will that translate in baseball? Yeah. Is he 5'10"? I feel like he's a monster. Jason Dominguez height. Yeah, he is 5'10". For an outfielder, that seems small, but I think that dog will hunt. We'll see if Jose Altuve can do it. We'll see. Morant has face injury, but won't stop his play today. He has a face injury, like on his face. That's where his face is located. Mask on. Molly, Percocet. Nasal fracture, but it'll be available. Is he gonna wear a mask? It's intriguing. Paired him with Embiid. Bilbo, that made sense. If you had Luka and Kyrie, thought somebody would run it back and score well, it turned out to be Maxey and Harden instead. But the thought process was sound there, especially on a 4-game slate. Can we get access to your projections? I mean, it's behind the paywall at Run DFS. We have the player projections tab here. I do DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. Right now I'm coding baseball projections, so up until now, all my baseball stuff didn't come with projections because baseball projections is so volatile. But yeah, it isn't a tab. And also have a player prop tab. But it's behind the paywall at Run DFS. Mask like Brown, let's go. My sneaky AL batting title champ is Wander Franco. I don't mind that. Somebody asked me yesterday if they thought Wander would be a sneaky MVP bet. I was like, I guess if he could stay healthy and flourish, but wonder if the Tampa Bay market will nurture an MVP. You know what I mean? Like, it does feel like there's still a little bit of a bias. Oh boy, Altuve, he got it in the bag in the regular season. Went to the playoff, he sleep. I don't want to hear about Jose Altuve in the playoffs. Thank you very much. Okay, this has been a nice family stream. Could we not mess it up? Thank you. All right. Pelicans at the Warriors. Actually, how many games we got? We got 3 games. All right, let's do the drop. Let me get the drop out of here real quick, and then we'll get back into finishing the game. So the drop is the RunDFS.com year pass. So there's only a couple of uses on this coupon left, but it's basically the and I tweeted it earlier, and I think I put it in the Discord as well. Let's see, Gundecker Gaming. Basically, wrong Gundecker Gaming. If you want to lock in for the entire remainder of the 2023 calendar year, you can do so for $3.99. That's the rest of NBA, the entire baseball season, the beginning of the next NBA season, and most of the NFL season up until January 1. That's going to unlock the spreadsheet, the bomb detector, the player pool, the pre-lock voice chats, and I'll be in the voice chat in about 20 minutes, and then you also get a $150 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So the only way you can get this price is by going to RunDFS.com, clicking VIP memberships, and then at the bottom you'll see the year pass. The sticker tag is $499. When you click on that, it'll say have the coupon. The coupon code is MLB. Type in MLB, you see the price goes down to $3.99. So it's a limited coupon. I don't know if anybody's used it while we were live, but there's only a few left. So if you want to lock in, that's literally the best deal I think that we've ever had for Run DFS. So I think that's a huge deal. Also love how Sam Hilliard is the auto name on here. I don't know why, it always gives me a kick, but yeah, it is. I think it's because I did a demonstration on stream once and it like auto saved it. But Sam Hilliard is like a random Rockies player. It's funny. Boston made. Oof, Vic. I thought I liked you. Wanted to get the bomb detector. Let's go. Yeah, bomb detector is really good. I don't mean to toot my own horn, and I usually don't, but you guys that have seen me in passing, I don't know, I tweet out the bomb detector here and there. It's really good. I'm very proud of it. Like the Brewers at Adamas trade. Yo, the Brewers are about to run Corbin Burns out of town, bro. What's that about? Pelicans at the Warriors. Next game on the docket. CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Jonas Valanciunas taking on Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Dante DiVincenzo, Draymond Green, Kevin Looney. A 231 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the home team Golden State Warriors. Wiggins and Iggy listed as questionable, right? Did we got any Wiggins news? Iggy is not really a factor to me, but Wiggins would probably move the needle for me on like DiVincenzo minutes. I can't do it with the Poole assist, bro. I just can't. It's draining me. So he was out for personal reasons. So I mean, I hope everything's all right. But it's not like, you know, an injury ease back situation. I'm assuming somebody passed away. So we'll see if he can go. That'll certainly move DiVincenzo probably back to the bench. You might get a lineup where Draymond plays center, but maybe not. Stop me from the Jordan Poole assist, bro. I can't do it. Draymond Green sticks out 6,500. You can see 30 plus. I can still play Jordan Poole and Klay for DFS, but man, am I just getting reamed on this Poole assist prop? Seems like every other day. On the Pelican side, JVL has a Q tag on him, on top of Larry Nance being down, so it shortens the front court bench a little bit more. Is JVL closer to out? Let's see, Nolans. He's doubtful. All right, so what does that mean for us? Jackson Hayes and Guillermo Hernan-Gomez? Where did we get last game? Like Patriots, Bruins, Sox, and Celtics. I don't have beef with the Patriots anymore, but I used to be a big Giants fan. So I never really had beef with them anyway, because we were always mopping them. Hernan-Gomez, 20 minutes last game. What happened to close? Score was 121, 110. What did we go with to close out? Because Jackson Hayes didn't close out either. Was it Najee Marshall? So that's annoying. So Jackson Hayes and Willie Hernangomez, I guess they look interesting because they're two guys that have shown point per minute or better potential. So they'd be in a player pool, but it does look like there's a little volatility about what could happen. But I'm going to throw Guillermo Hernangomez in the, or I guess Willie Hernangomez in the starting lineup. And we'll go from there. They say Zubac out. I had Zubac questionable. I had J Bell doubtful. Used to be a Yankees fan until they started threatening to move my Rays from Tampa. I've been a baseball fan since before the Rays were a team from 89 89, so I was a big Yankee fan because of my abuelo. Well, you can come on back. We'll take you. Ingram, McCollum, Poole. I think I'm going to be pretty basic when it comes to this, and then we'll get into some of the value front court. But I think Hernangomez, Hayes, Marshall, maybe we'd want to negatively correlate them in our cruncher and go from there. But I think I'd lean on whoever starts the most, and it's probably going to be Hernangomez. Brewers, Bucks, Steelers, live them out. For me, it used to be Yankees, Giants, and Nets. I loved the Nets growing up. Jason Kidd, Kerry Kittles, Kenyon Martin. Fun team. And then for a bit, when they made the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett splash, I liked them, but it didn't happen. What are you gonna do? Clippers at the Kings. Project 75 for the Clippers. Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, Paul George. Actually, no, Marcus Morris got rolled out, right? So we have to fix this up a little bit here, because I made this 2 hours ago. By the way, y'all, hit that thumbs up, man. Let's get to 100 likes, please and thank you. Let's piece together this Clippers lineup. So last night we saw Plumlee start, Eric Gordon, Paul George. So Terrence Mann, maybe Nick Batum. Maybe. I don't know. Just throwing some names here for now. If Zubac can't go. We know Norman Powell's out. And I believe we said Marcus Morris was out. Russell Westbrook, 7,900 on FanDuel, 7,100 on DraftKings. I'm going to keep it real. I think I'm playing Russell Westbrook tonight. And then Paul George being available, it feels pretty fishy, but not on the injury report. Everybody else is out. At 8,300 on DraftKings, have to assume he's unrestricted and just ready to play. And against the Kings, fast-paced, super efficient offense, you're going to have to bring your A game. Clippers have not been good, and they've been horrendous defensively. So low-key could blow out Kings way. But if it doesn't, I mean, Paul George is going to be a catalyst in keeping it together. 5K Mason Plumlee looks like a really strong click. And then Russell Westbrook, maybe you can't bench him here if you don't have Norman Powell, you don't have Kawhi Leonard, and maybe he has to play 35-plus minutes. So I think I'm here on the Clippers, and not really going to budge much because I think it becomes a shorter rotation. So I'm in on that. On the Kings side, Fox is okay, but at 9+K, I need probably 50. Sabonis is pretty intriguing at 10K. Comes in as one of the highest raw fantasy scorers pretty quickly, 4th on the list before we sweep projections. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to be there, right? Bones a sneaky play. I think you're onto something. I don't think that's crazy, considering that Norman Powell's out of the mix. And like I said, I don't think it's a crazy range of outcomes to see this game get lopsided. But Bones Highland closed out the fourth quarter last night, which was essentially garbage time. And then if you look at what Norman Powell brings to the table, he's usually 20 to 30 minutes and sometimes 20 plus real points. So I think it could be a sneaky click. It does come with a lot of risk and you need some stuff to go your way, but I think you're right. And then if Westbrook can go, not can go, but if Westbrook doesn't get benched, what's the numbers for the market for him? 29.5 PRA. I'm thinking PRA today would be the move. I think assists still makes sense because he's such a big facilitator, but there's so much of his skill set that is complemented by this matchup, which is such a fast-paced situation. I think I'm going PRA if I had to choose one and just throw a blanket over it. I would say fantasy, but he does turn the ball over a bit, so maybe I don't want the -1s to tabulate. But let's see what the market says on Westbrook. So I'm thinking Westbrook PRA is what I'm digging the most. I don't know. How'd the sub count do? 84.41. We got a couple more. I appreciate it. Westbrook. So 29.5. In some spots it's at 30.5. So I'm on the over. Give me the over. And we'll even consider that odds value since that line probably moves, right? Russell Westbrook over 29.5 PRA. Westbrook and Gordon. Yeah. If we want Eric Gordon, we don't get it. Okay. So I wonder what's a fair point prop for him. Maybe 18.5, 16.5. I don't know. All right, last game on the docket. T-Wolves at the Lakers. Project 75 for the Wolves. Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Rudy Gobert taking on Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Troy Brown Jr., Jared Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis. 227.5 total, 1 point spread. So now that we're looking at these last couple of games, you know, we talked about maybe some coagulated ownership in the first game. Well, there's only one game at lock, by the way. There looks like there's a lot of fruitfulness in the last 4 or 5 games, you know, old school West Coast vibes for DFS, that it could be rewarding to wait and make some news reactive decisions, and also just to backload your lineups because there's a lot of upside at the end of the night. Anthony Edwards stands out, 9,400, guy that can get to 50 plus in this matchup. And then Anthony Davis on the other side here without LeBron James. Lakers are in just dire straits, needing wins here. So him, Dennis Schroeder, two guys I'd like to lean on a lot. And the Schroeder DraftKings price point looks really nice. So yeah, little Beasley revenge makes some sense here. So this is a pretty stackable spot, Lakers side. And then on the T-Wolf side, Anthony Edwards is probably the guy I'm getting to the most. No one else is breaking the projections. If Gobert had a great rebound game, we've seen that against the Lakers. It wouldn't stun me. How has Gobert done historically against AD? I feel like there's a decent sample size there. What about George fantasy points? What is it? Is it in the 40s? Paul George. 42. I would take the over. I'm at 47, 48, and that was before we had Marcus Morris rolled out. So I would be on the over, and I guess it would correlate well with the Russell Westbrook PRA because he does so much A. Historical numbers for Gobert against AD. Not great in the last 4. All of those were with Utah. Minutes were meh. Rebounds, double digits. All right. Anthony Davis is looking like one of the best plays on the slate. He came in at my highest raw fantasy point projection. Like I said, they got to put the team on his back. I hope he doesn't get like one of those classic AD you-know-whats at a high ownership. But I think pre-flop, we just got to go with the projections, and the usage for AD is unlimited tonight without LeBron, and life without Russell Westbrook and D'Angelo Russell too, as well, right? Like Plumlee of Zubac. Yeah, Plumlee looks really good, especially with Marcus Morris also out. AD a 1.5 fantasy point per minute plus with a 31% usage rate. So looks really good. Schroeder has a 40% assist rate in that split. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. 7 assists is his line. Good for him. Good for him. I was expecting a putrid number. 7? Good job. Like Austin Reeves. Spectrum went down for you, Beast. Dude, I hate Spectrum. It is on my heart heavy. I know I talked about moving out of the state for sports betting, but it's on my heart heavy to move to like Dallas again and get into some fiber because I hate Spectrum. 7.5. Actually, we went under, so that's why we're looking at a 7. All right, we'll take AD. AD versus Edwards in some lineups will be fun. And that's probably it. Austin Reeves, yeah, I can get behind that. I have him at 27 minutes, 4,100. Probably give me 20 plus. Hopefully get me closer to 30. I don't mind it. All right, chat, you guys got anything else for me? Before we wrap it up and get into the Discord. What's tomorrow looking like? So Saturday, we've been doing really big Saturday numbers. So I would like to do a Saturday stream. But what we've been doing is we've been starting an hour later than usual on Saturday. So like 4 p.m. Eastern, if we do run it. And tomorrow is looks like it's going to be a 5-gamer. So we might even be an hour and a half later than usual. So look for that. Look for that. Who benefit from Jay Rich being out as well? Do we just load up on Ingram and Jones and Murphy? Ingram, McCollum, yeah, Murphy. Najee Marshall, but that's more of a 5 situation. I don't really want to play Dyson Daniels. Yeah, it'd probably just be Murphy, Ingram, McCollum. I have a lot of minutes on 4 of the starting 5. What happens if AD hurts his pinky? Hey, you don't say that. A lot of Gordon. Is that crazy on FanDuel and 4.4? Is that Eric Gordon? There's 3 Gordons, but I'm assuming you mean Eric Gordon. Seemed like he could lead the team in shots, or maybe not lead the team in shots, but he could be 3rd, top 3 in shot attempts. I don't know what you mean by a lot. I wouldn't want to be overly invested in Gordon, but I do think he probably has that Joe Harris, JJ Redick role right now where he's going to get double-digit shot attempts. All right. I got to get into RunDFS.com VIP Discord. Remember, take advantage of that MLB pass or the MLB coupon. I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of your day. I do. Tell somebody out there you love them. I love you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.